brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture palate cleanser. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the infamous REN. What's up, Mr. Ren?
What is up? Oh my gosh, we are back finally.
I feel like every episode we do is us saying, "Oh, we're finally back."
Yes, we're back again.
It's like your favorite podcast comes out once every 2 months. Yeah,
Well,
you
at
gotta
least we're
wait for the
still
best
online,
things.
you know?
That's true. That's true. It's true. I want to get to where we actually broadcast in the same room again because I think our audio quality is a lot better. I know we call ourselves the Audionots because our audio used to really suck.
Oh,
We
yeah.
we've spent
Really?
some money and we've upgraded. So imagine what we would sound like if we weren't like dealing with my poor like AOL 56K dial-up connection.
You gotta upgrade, man.
I know. I've been trying to tell the wifey. I'm just gotta get her to buy in.
I think that one thing that people don't understand is you have so many devices connected to your Wi-Fi that's taking away Wi-Fi. And so when you're trying to stream, when you're trying to like do what we're doing, you just don't have enough internet.
Yeah, I mean, it works pretty good most of the time, and that's the problem. So, for the average fans in the house, when they want to watch TV, it works because we run all of our TV through the internet, no cable, no satellite, all interwebs TV. But also we have smart devices. All these smart devices are pulling from the Wi-Fi, and so once I jump on here and I say I'm also going to use Zoom and talk and do all this stuff on live video, it starts to say, "Wait a second, hold up, fam." And it doesn't like me anymore.
Imagine if we're like there's a way to do like 4K video.
Oh my gosh, that'd be sweet.
There'd be no internet left.
No, I don't think that my interwebs could handle 4K video. Not at all. Well, you know what? Honestly, sometimes it has that choice when we watch TV and it works. But to be fair, the TV we watch most of our TV on is hardwired right into the router. So it's kind of missing that Wi-Fi connection. I think that's a big difference.
Time to upgrade. Time to
upgrade. It's time to upgrade. I probably like tomorrow I'll get a knock on the door. One of these fiber connector guys is probably like listening to my words and they're going to show up and harass me like the cable man.
Oh yeah, most likely.
So what have you been doing during your time off? I know you have all sorts of things. You went on vacation, you've been to concerts, you've been living the life.
Yeah, because the world's it's there. It depends on how you are or how afraid you are. Just go out and do things. It's not that bad.
No, and honestly, for anybody who's listening from all around the world, and every place is different. In the United States, because I know we have a lot of international listeners. In fact, I think last time I looked at our statistics, we have more international listeners than we do domestic listeners, which is just wild to me. Anyways, in the United States, the majority of the states are pretty much open 100%, no masks, indoor, outdoors. And Oregon, where we broadcast from, is one of the last to kind of come around. And so next week, the end of next week, there's the mask mandate is out the door and we can finally just, roll around how we choose.
Yep. And what people don't understand is like businesses they can still make you wear masks, if you want to come go shop there. So just be aware of that and don't be a butt about it. But
yeah, don't be a douche canoe. So if you roll into some small local business and they ask you to please put a mask on, just do it. Don't be like one of those Karens yelling at them. Nobody likes the ass clown that has to like tell them about their Second Amendment and their freedom of speech and all this other stuff. It's like, relax, bro. If you don't want to do it that badly, don't shop there.
There's cameras everywhere, man.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely be filmed and end up on Twitter. And then that guy with the beard on TikTok will grab it and he'll dox you and you'll get fired from your job. It's not worth it.
I know. This is like the last straw that they drew. I'm decided to lose my livelihood on this cliff,
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth getting that peeved. That's for sure. How was your vacation? You went to Las Wages, if I'm correct?
Oh no, not yet. I'm going this weekend.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up.
Yeah.
You haven't even gone yet. I was already thinking you went. Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of stuff, but it's just kind of like I don't remember anymore. There's so much happening.
You're a busy man. You like go to work and work like a full 8 hour day. Then you go home and work some more on all your side hustles.
I know. I gotta, make I basically make money to fund my hobbies, and then my hobby makes money to fund my other hobbies. And it's a never ending cycle.
You have any new hobbies right now? Anything fun?
Not yet. I mean, I can't afford it right now.
My newest hobby has been NFL all day. So, longtime listeners remember when we used to like rattle on about Top Shot,
Top
NBA Top
shot.
Shot. Well, they opened an NFL version of it, and they do basically NFT football moments. And I was lucky enough to get in the earlier stages than I did on NBA Top Shot. So I've been completely wasting my time and money playing with that.
Wait, is NFT considered a hobby?
I
Maybe.
think so. I think
Yeah.
collecting anything's a hobby, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because NFTs should hold some sort of utility, but when you're doing a collectible NFT, it's still collecting. It's essentially digital card collecting.
Right. I think it's so new that everyone's like, that's not a real hobby. Yeah.
My bank account would disagree. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I'm having some fun with it. Hopefully, I'll be able to turn some of this stuff around and make some money off of it.
Yeah, I'm still positive in money. I took out my initial investment and I'm still
Yeah.
positive, playing with the dealer's money.
Well, that's the best part. You can use your NBA Top Shot money and spend it on NFL all day. And so I did the same thing. I was able to take the profits I'd made from NBA Top Shot, push it into all day. And this last week was the only time I've thrown extra money at it. I threw an extra hundy in there so that I could do some stuff. So in my mind, because this is how I like to make it work, I've only spent $100 on NFL all day, but my account, I looked at it today. They have this thing called moment ranks,
Ooh,
and I'm
nice.
top 13%. And
Ooh.
so I'm doing pretty good. It's worth much more than $100.
Are you gonna join a job tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it because the drops have been kind of all over the place. If there's any NFL all day fans listening, I found it kind of cool just to wait for the drop to finish and then to jump on the marketplace and pick up all the stuff people are dumping on the cheap, because I'm in it for the long haul. I'll buy it now, just put it in my pocket, hang on to it until series 2 collectible NFTs come out in the series, and then sell them for big money.
Diamond
Hopefully.
hands, baby.
Yeah, in theory. I mean, can't be any worse than my Robinhood, which every morning I turn on and I see the red line somehow going even lower. I'm like, how does it get that low?
Yeah, it's time to buy, baby.
Yeah, now's the time to buy.
I have a reinvesting money going into a Tesla every week,
What is Tesla at right now?
like 800,
Oh, that's not bad. What was it at its peak?
like 11 or 12 almost.
Okay, so that's substantial.
Anything under 9 is good.
Yeah,
And I'm
very
not your
cool.
financial advisor, so don't go out there and like
If you
poor.
lose all your money on it, just make sure to email Rin and tell him that he's the one that did it to you.
Yeah, it was him. He said invest.
He said Tesla was good to buy under 9. So, all right, let's get into the show. One really important thing. So, one of the reasons we've been delayed because we've had things going on, but one of the biggest reasons is one of our biggest fans, I would say by far, probably our biggest fan in the entire world of this stupid little podcast, my mom. She passed away last week, and she would love it if I would dedicate this show to her. So this episode's for you, Mom. I'm gonna keep on being an immature adult, just the way you liked me, and I love you. Bye.
All right, shout out, R.I.P. Grandma Joe.
Heck yeah. So let's do it. Let's start off with the healthy stream. All right. So there's a lot of stuff. There's been things happening. I feel pretty comfortable. We'll let you know when we're going to talk spoilers. But at this point, because of how much delay we've had, you've probably seen all these shows, and we can talk about the
Yeah.
shows in their completeness. That's kind of fun. That's the best part. So our friends over at Disney Plus had a little show about this a bounty hunter you may have heard of. He's just a small character. In the original trilogy, he didn't really have a big part. And they said, you know what? Let's take this little gumption guy, bring him back to life. He didn't die, and give him his own television show. And I think we've talked about maybe the first episode or two, but now
Yeah.
you've seen the whole series of Boba Fett, the book of Boba Fett. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it mid?
I think the first episode I liked it because it kind of like gave you that nostalgic feeling of Boba and the Star Wars universe again.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, I kind of just liked it okay. And like the best part of the show didn't have him in there, and so it made me second guess my opinion on it. Like, do I really like the show, or do I just like Mando? You know?
Or do you just even like Star Wars? So
Yeah.
I feel the same way. And what's kind of funny is I don't know if you noticed this, but I felt like there were very specific episodes that I didn't like, that I didn't care for. There was no episode that I'd like, God damn it, I'm gonna throw my TV through the wall. But there was episodes that were just kind of like, bleh, not for me. And I looked it up, and every single one of those episodes was directed by Robert Rodriguez. And it's such a bummer because I'm a fan of Robert Rodriguez. He's made some of my favorite movies: Desperado, Dusk Till Dawn, Spy Kids.
Too much Spy Kids, man.
Too
Probably
many
why.
Spy Kids. But I don't know. I just feel like, and you can tell me if you disagree. I'm not even sure this is that hot of a take, that he just didn't connect to the Star Wars universe. Where I feel like John Favreau and some of the other guys, they have even Bryce Dallas Howard, for whatever reason, they have a little bit more connection to the source material. Whereas Robert Rodriguez was doing Robert Rodriguez's thing, but with Star Wars characters.
Yeah. Like I agree because one example of that for me is like the robot side of like the half human, half robot, the cyborgs, whatever. What are they
Yes,
called?
the Mod Squad.
The mods, yeah, the mod squad. It became too like cyberpunk for me and not
Yeah.
Star Wars. And it kind of took me out of the world.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the colorful Vespas, it was a little off for me. But just even some of the stuff he did, like I think he directed the finale, and the spinning, the stuff you see in Robert Rod, people are spinning around, shooting like idiots. There's no reason to do it. It just felt unnecessary. The whole thing kind of plodded along whenever he was in charge. The episodes that, as you pointed out, featured the Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka and Grogu. Those were directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. By the way, you all know she's the daughter of Ron Howard, who has made everything great. That guy's never missed in any movie. So any movie you've seen that was amazing, it was probably directed by him. But she's turned into quite the director herself, as well as a good actress. And yeah, the Mando episodes were by far my favorite.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I was so geeked out. I couldn't tell anybody because nobody's seen it. Like you haven't seen it. Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah,
This is so good. They gave us the whole lore. It's awesome.
it was really good. Like they had like little tidbits that just felt right, because we've all imagined having a lightsaber and how cool it'd be to have a lightsaber. And it was kind of neat to see Mando, who's not a Jedi, get a hold of this dark saber, and he's trying to fight people away. He's having a hard time controlling it, not realizing that part of it is using this kind of force attitude. And he ends up slicing his leg. And I
Yeah.
thought that's the most authentic thing that they've done in any of these Star Wars shows yet, because any one of us that got a hold of a lightsaber would absolutely injure ourselves.
But on that part, I actually rewind and watched it again to make sure I saw what I saw. I'm like, he did injure himself.
Yeah. And it was so real, and that's what I liked. And it always makes me happy when you take something very fantasy like and give it this kind of real touch. Uh, I enjoy that because then it brings it, down a little bit to where it's not so silly. So, but the episodes where, Boba Fett's character development, some of it was okay. Like I didn't mind too much when we learned his dances with wolves beginning and he was hanging out with the Tusken Raiders. We all remember my amazing Tusken Raider impression.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I didn't mind that. But some of it just like, I'm gonna run the city fair and square, and then some huts show up, but then they disappear. We're not worried about them anymore. And then when they show back up, they're like, nah, fam, you're good. We just changed our mind. Or Danny Trejo comes rolling and he goes, look at this big monster. You want to have this? You can ride it like a horse.
Yeah.
And so there was just kind of a lot of big unfulfilled swings, I felt.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, if I was to direct this, I would go way back in time and
Yes.
go tell this story of how he became a Mandalorian because
Yes.
we never saw that. Like all we saw him as a kid in Clone Wars or Rebels
Yeah.
being a bounty hunter, but we never
Yep.
saw how he became a Mandalorian. Just because Jenga was a Mandalorian, he just kind of what took his armor and made it his own, or what, you know?
Yeah, we don't really know that. So the Book of Boba Fett didn't tell us everything. Maybe there'll be a sequel. I don't know.
And then make like Mace Windu the main bad guy. I mean,
Oh my
dope.
god, that would be awesome. That would be dope. My favorite part, well, not my favorite part, my most impressed by part was the Luke Skywalker CGI. Now, Star Wars is not afraid to try CGI, giving us fake human beings. They've done it a handful of times. But man alive, it looks so good.
This is by far the best deep fake I ever seen in like any show or movie.
Yeah, and it's in a television show.
Yeah.
So that just tells you how far the technology's come and probably how far the technology will go. If you go back, in fact, a long time listeners of the Audionots podcast, go back to where we were still broadcasting out of the garage on the pool table. And we had a whole episode where we talked about people selling our actors, selling their rights so they can continue to be movies long after they're dead. And
Yeah.
it seemed like a long shot, even when we were talking about it then. And now, not so much. I think this is something that's going to happen easily in our lifetime, but maybe even being well done in the next 10 to 15 years.
Well, I was talking to our Star Wars guru, and he
Yes.
told me that not Mark Hamill, George Lucas is still making money from Luke Skywalker's look
Oh,
because
interesting.
back in the day, dude was like before his time, like he bought the rights of a Luke Skywalker look. So like till this day, if you're using Luke's look, dude's getting money.
That's genius. And he probably did that thinking about selling toys and video games and things like that,
Yeah,
not realizing that he could make bank off this for the rest of his life. And poor Mark
yeah.
Hamill's probably over there going, what the hell?
And,
That's wild. Well, good on you, George Lucas. I mean, as much as we like to give Georgie a hard time, he's a genius and he was definitely ahead of his time.
yeah, he was.
Cool. So in the end, you've seen Boba Fett from start to finish. What's your overall grade? How many nuts?
If I were to grade it without Mando, it's
Okay.
probably like a 4 to me.
Oh,
Yeah, but but I don't know, man. Mando is just amazing by its own. Just don't do without Mando.
so I would also say similar things, but I wouldn't go because some of the episodes without Mando weren't awful. I would say if you subtract or if you only give a grade to the Robert Rodriguez episodes, those to me are like a 3, but the rest of them are higher than that. So overall, I'd give the entire show a 6 or 7. Maybe not a 7. God, it was so mid. I'm gonna give it a 6. So I'm gonna give this is probably my lowest grade since like some of the prequels, or maybe even the Last Jedi. That movie sucked. So yes, I give it a 6.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, it was better. You get more excited about what's gonna happen next than about the show, you know?
Yeah, you're constantly because the show's plot was kind of meandering, and so you're pointing out, you're kind of just looking forward to who's the next cameo. What Star Wars character am I gonna be able to spot? Oh my god, that's the spaceship from this thing, and that's
Yeah,
the thing from that thing, and you get excited about that stuff.
yeah, agreed.
Agreed. So also on Disney Plus, there unfortunately, I don't know about you, but like other than random kids movies that we watch once in a while with the fam, it's all about Star Wars and Marvel, and they do a pretty good job about pacing them out. So our next big Marvel TV show is the one, the only Moon Knight. So what did you think about the Moon Knight trailer? They finally gave us a full trailer. I think it came out at like Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
But what did you think?
Yeah, it gave me chills, man. I was so hyped. Like him throwing that moon. Oh shit.
I am so hyped because the thing that got me hyped is Well, number one, Oscar Isaac is the perfect actor. He's a number one, he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
And I think that he fits the character of Mark Spector very well. And the fact that we've seen between that trailer and some of the posters that they've released that we're getting both the Moon Knight and the Mr. Knight character, because Moon Knight, for those who don't know, has like multiple personalities. He's a
Yeah.
weird guy. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And it looks good, like it's gonna be probably the darkest Marvel show on Disney yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Oscar Isaac's like acting skills like to its
Mm-hmm.
fullest, man. He's gonna nail it up. Nail it.
He's so good. And one of the fears I think that a lot of people had is, oh man, I want to see this show be kind of dark and violent. And they're like, but it's on Disney Plus. They probably won't do that. But then you saw uh, about 5 days ago, Disney announced that they're putting every single one of the Netflix Marvel shows on their streaming services. And Punisher, Daredevil, those shows didn't hold back at all. So that means they're not afraid. They're going to have the rating system involved, and so I'm hoping that they really hold true to like the violent nature of the Moon Knight.
Yeah, I need more of a Punisher's grunting, Ugh,
Well, that's the
ugh.
best thing that's happened, right? Because at this point, I know we know that they're canon, right? They've canonized them officially. I mean, they've been kind of like, oh, I think they are. I think we knew that Daredevil had been, but they're like, what about the rest of them? I don't know. But now we know that they're all canon. I'm curious and excited to see if they like decide to give us any new seasons of these shows. I think Daredevil is probably the most likely since they've said they got lots of projects with him. But boy, would it be cool to pick up where they left off.
Yeah, for me, I never disliked the actors and the actresses that they chose. Like for me, the actors and actresses, they look really good. They look the part.
Yes, yeah,
But the other shows that I didn't like Jessica Jones or whatever, Luke
right.
Cage,
It was
it
the
was
writing.
just it was the writing. It wasn't that good.
The only actor that I thought was miscast, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if he didn't come back, was I'm Danny Rand.
Danny Rand.
Yeah, so Danny Rand was also poorly written, but Danny Rand, the actor, I just didn't. He just looks so wimpy. I don't know if that's fair to say. He's probably a fine gentleman, but he just didn't feel very superhero like to me to be rolling around punching holes in walls. Now, one cool thing that they could do that the internet is all a buzz about is they've just recently given us a brand new Iron Fist. And Danny Rand, the current Danny Rand, is playing like the guide. He's the mentor. So that would be the best way for them to be able to keep all the other characters. Because I really liked a lot of the side characters in that show, especially the hot girl from Game of Thrones. What's her name? Do you remember her name?
Christina uh Windrix or something like that.
I don't know her.
Yeah.
So I want her to stay for sure. But they could have Danny Rand teaching this other bro how to be Iron Fist, and that'd be way cooler because then we could get less of I'm Danny Rand.
Yeah, for me, just hire somebody that has the background of martial arts.
Yes, that was probably the biggest problem. Is Finn Jones is his name, and he admitted that he took zero training. And usually, these kind of things, they put these
Yeah.
guys through these actors through at least some sort of boot camp, so they can at least make it look real. And it never felt intense enough because
Yeah.
he wasn't good at it.
Yeah, he was too busy making Game of Thrones. So
Yeah, too busy being handsome. I get it, dude. You're handsome, but you're no superhero.
he's not handsome. He's Danny Rand.
He's nailed it. Over on the Netflix, I don't know if you know this, but the final season of Ozark came out. Are you an Ozark fan? Have you watched any of it?
Wait, you lied. Half the season came out.
Well, it's still season 4, final season. You have to wait for the second half. I was getting to that,
Yeah.
but yes.
I've seen the first two and I loved it. And I just haven't got a chance to get back into it.
Yeah, so Ozark, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is one of the better shows on Netflix. Netflix has done a pretty good job, mostly because they throw everything at the wall, and some of it sticks, and some of it sticks is really pretty good. But damn it, if Ozark isn't a fantastic show, it's one of my favorite non-superhero, non-fantasy shows. It's well acted, it's super suspenseful, and I've been pretty excited with how it's finishing up. So I'm completely caught up all the way through the first half of the finale season.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to see how these people get out of it. And I feel like these writers won't let them off easy if let them. I feel like this is the kind of show that doesn't deserve a happy ending.
No way. Well, because like, you've been rooting for the bad guys the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're realizing, and you start to realize it in this final season that they're kind of awful, but we've always seen it from their perspective, you know?
Yes. So they're right in every way.
Yeah, and so yeah, I'm curious to see how they finish it. I would like it if maybe things don't go perfect for them. If they have some sort of freaking happy ending in the end and they all get to live happily ever, it would feel not very authentic. So we'll see. Also on Netflix, I don't know if you've been watching this, they released season 2 of Space Force.
Oh, halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? How are you liking season 2? Do you like it better, worse, or same as season 1?
So far season two, I liked it. I like it better
Okay.
because they kind of have like their sense of humor,
Okay.
and they're not like trying to be too serious or trying to be too funny. They found like their mark and they're kind of like sticking to it so far.
I liked it a little bit better than season 1. It's still not as good as I hoped it would be. I think the main problem for me is, and it's stuck in my head since the beginning, is when they advertised this show during season 1, they kept saying Steve Carell and the producers of The Office, and they were making us think it was going to be The Office in space. And this show is nothing tonally at all like The Office, and I've never been able to get over that.
So biased.
I'm so biased. So for
They
me, I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah, they should have like done it like The Office to where it's more like a documentary of
Yes.
recording this process happening in the first time in our history, sort of, you know.
Yeah. It's probably they were worried about coming off too much like repeating themselves,
It's
which,
okay.
yeah,
Fan
it's
service.
okay.
It's
Well, it
okay.
works. We talked about it. If you go back to our last podcast, which was a while ago, we talked about how Abbott Elementary is actually the best show on TV that's exactly like The Office. And it works because it's using that exact same theme and type of show.
Yeah, like I saw the episode where he was promoting the energy drink,
Yes.
and then there was recording his little ad, and he goes blah 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 blah, afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like they could have done more of that stuff, like see it from the camera guy's view. It's perfect.
I concur. So for me, Space Force is kind of middle of the road. I'd give it a 5. Nah, I like it. Well, do I like it better than Boba Fett? I like about the same. Excuse me. Um, I saw something really cool on Netflix, and I did totally ran into this by accident.
Recently or like last month.
Literally, no, literally like a day or two ago.
Nice.
So one of the things you take a peek at how the sausage is made is I go online and I'm looking to find trailers and things for us to talk about during our tasty trailer segment. And so sometimes I'll go on Netflix and they have an area where you can look at new trailers. And so I was going on there to see some new trailers, and we'll talk about one here in a second. But I totally stumbled on this, and I don't know if this is well-known knowledge and I'm just an idiot, but I didn't even know it was a thing. Did you know, and does the audience know that Netflix has added games?
Yes.
How did I not know that? And it was a boatload of games. They look like those kind of crappy like app games you get on like the freebie part of Apple, games. But there was like Stranger Thing games. They had a lot of games themed against their TV shows, and they just had like a bunch of really random games like word scrabbles and mazes and stuff.
I think they start doing that when the shows were interactive,
Yeah.
like Kimmy Schmidt and stuff like that.
Okay.
They start doing that during those times. And
I
then they just been adding, but I've never like played it or even clicked on any one of them yet.
I haven't, but now I feel like I have to. I had never had it advertised to me before. So I was kind of like, oh, this is cool. So I promised the Audionots that I will try to play a couple of the Netflix games on my iPad before the next episode. But I was like, this is different. They're trying to expand their demographic, maybe.
Oh, you know what's funny? You know how like they have categories when you're looking up,
Yeah,
what you watch or drama,
sure.
comedy. I was on my anime app, Crunchyroll,
Yes.
and it was like fantasy, RPG or whatever.
Hentai.
Yeah, hentai and stuff like that. And then there's one category that I kid you not, it says watch it for the plot.
Does that just mean that it's like big bosomy
Yeah.
anime
Yeah,
broads?
it's just a bunch of like big boo waifu shows. They're like,
Oh
oh
my
shit,
god,
let's go.
that's
They
amazing.
need
That's
that. They
fantastic.
they need that for Netflix, you know. You watch it for
Watch
the
it for
plot.
the plot. That's genius. Good on them. Excellent
Yeah.
job, Crunchyroll. Isn't Crunchyroll owned by Sony now or something?
Yeah, because they it was Funimation, and Funimation was owned by Sony,
Got it.
and then they bought them out. And we thought that they were gonna merge,
Yeah.
but then I think they're gonna let Funimation go and just combine it with Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll is the main one.
So they decided Crunchyroll is the main one, and then anything that was good on Funimation they'll dump on there.
Yeah,
That's cool. Very
good on
cool.
their
Well,
part. Yeah,
Crunchyroll is kind of a cool name too. So my one kind of trailer that I had from the Netflix that I came across is for all the fans out there, which both you and I believe are, of the television show Big Mouth, comes a not a sequel, a
yeah.
spin-off cartoon called Human Resources. And Human Resources deals with all those characters we see behind, like the hormone monster and the love bugs and all these other like weird characters that harass the kids. We get to go to the land of wherever they come from and see how they like go out and work their working environment almost.
It's almost like a prequel to like get you set up for all the monsters that the kids see.
It's almost like Monsters Inc. if it was made like for adults and was gross and dirty.
Yeah. I think my favorite character for from that trailer was the Logic Rock.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I was gonna say the same thing.
Like, you don't need to stand up. You're gonna get out of the airplane.
Yeah, he was sitting on the airplane and he started to
Uh,
stand up. He's like, "Bro, you don't need to stand up. We're not getting off right now." What was that voice? I recognize the Logic Rock's voice. Do you know who that was?
no, I can't. I can't. I don't know. It was so fast.
I heard it and I said, "I know who that is," and I should have looked it up, but I did not.
Yeah, they had
Either
like a
way,
bunch of like voice actors in there.
well, they've been. I mean, they've done a really good job with that show of attracting like top comedians and actors to voice the characters. So I think we're gonna get more and more. But like I said, the Logic Rock was one of the new few ones where
Yeah.
we saw all the ones we've seen previously on Big Mouth. So it was kind of cool to see that they're even expanding on the world. Human Resources comes out on Netflix March 18th. So that's something to look forward to. Over on Amazon Prime, I watched a couple shows. One that I was very excited for and then was disappointed when I saw it, and one that I had no expectations and absolutely loved. Which one do you want to hear first?
Was it the Wheel of Time?
None of them are the Wheel of Time.
Oh,
I gave up on that show after an episode and a half. I don't know if you ever finished it, but I'm like, this is boring.
I finished it, dude, for the
And
sake of the podcast,
and
and it wasn't that good. And for anybody that says it was good, you're lying to yourself. And I heard people say that it's better than The Witcher,
oh
and
no.
you are wrong. Yeah. Just,
Yes, yes.
you have your right to your own opinion, but that's just flat out wrong. Like The Witcher is way better than this.
Your right opinion is absolutely wrong. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree that you should not like this show better than The Witcher. Witcher is fantastic, and it's only seemingly getting better. This show, I couldn't even get past an episode and a half. I was watching it with the wifey, and both of us were bored out of our minds. The effects were bad. Nothing about it was good.
Well, the thing I kind of like find it funny is when these shows they promote like woman empowering,
Yeah,
and then like only women can use magic, sort of thing. And
right.
the end of the day, you need like a male guy to save the day. It's like, why aren't you promoting women when at the end you're just gonna like,
We needed
we're
this dude.
we need a dude to win, like
Yeah, that's weak sauce.
yeah, man,
That's super weak.
just do it better.
Agreed. Do it better. Come on.
Man,
So Netflix has done it better though for a couple of shows. One show that I was actually really excited about, and then after watching it, it was very average. Unfortunately, is the Legend of Vox Machina. On our previous podcast, we talked about it coming out, and so I was amped up, and I didn't know anything about Critical Role. And so, for those out there who do know, Critical Role is a YouTube series where a bunch of voice actors create this. They play D&D, and then they play the game, and they all do the voices and do all the things and all this kind of stuff. And it became so popular. I guess the Critical Role YouTube page is absolutely insanely popular that they were able to land this kind of TV deal with Amazon. And I was attracted to it because I thought, oh, I like the animation style. It looks kind of like Invincible. I'm down. And I gave it about 4 episodes before. It wasn't so bad that I'm like, I can't watch this anymore, like Wheel of Time. But I just kind of forgot about it, quite honestly. Did you
Yeah,
watch it?
same here. I watched the first two and then just kind of like let it go.
Yeah. It just didn't feel, I don't know, maybe it was the scripting. It didn't have enough plot behind it for me to be intrigued to want to come back. And as soon as something new came out, I started watching whatever that new thing was instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like the show was trying a little too hard to make it so that you like it, and it just I watched the first two. Maybe I should have watched more, and I was like, I think I'll
And the
watch something
tone was a
else.
little off. Like it felt like in the first episode, they said, we're going to attract adult animation viewers by being kind of rude and crude.
And
And,
gory and bloody, you know.
yeah. And then they kind of got away from that. And they're like, okay, now we're going to tell you a Dungeons and Dragons story. And so and it was like, oh, okay. If
Yeah,
that's
I
what you
mean,
want to do.
it's like every other method where we're gonna show you some boobies,
Yep.
get you in, and then no more boobies for the rest of the show.
No boobies for you. And they did that. They actually showed some anime boobies in the first episode and then never again.
Yeah, but then
So
it's like it's not a good show, so can't commit.
yeah, so Legend of Vox Machina is what it is. I suppose if you're super into Critical Role or if you're really into D&D, you might actually enjoy it. Otherwise, it's probably just not worth your time.
Yeah, those gals and girls are like, I mean, dudes and gals are like, you guys are wrong.
Oh, I'm
It was
sure.
awesome.
And probably. So the show that I had zero expectations for, watched it on a whim one night because we were like, what do you want to watch? And then binged all of it. It took us 2 days to watch the entire series.
Oh, I know this one.
Reacher, based off the Jack Reacher books. So Reacher, as some of you may know, was originally it's a book series, and I guess they said there's like 20 something books. Like there's a whole bunch of books to pull from, and they started making movies out of it because this is a very popular book with Tom Cruise. I think they made 2 of them, and little Tom Cruise runs around kicking ass, and they're not bad movies, but they weren't great. They weren't what you would consider a top 10 Tom Cruise movie by any means.
Yeah, I like those movies, so it
They're
wasn't bad.
fine.
Yeah,
But I bet you right now I could name 9 other Tom Cruise movies that you like better. That's all I'm saying.
yeah,
To be fair, Tom Cruise made a lot of really good movies. He very rarely misses. However, he wasn't, according to the people who really are into the books, he wasn't the right fit for the character because the character was written as being this big hulking man, a 6'5", just beast of a man that was not only smart like Jack Reacher, but could kick some ass, like roll around, just get stuff done. And so what they've done is they've remade it into a television show on Amazon, and it stars our homie from Blue Mountain State. What is that other one? We go Blood Overdrive or whatever it was
Blood
called.
Drive,
Blood Drive.
Titans.
Titans. He was Aquaman.
No, Titans. He was Hawk.
But he was Aquaman on something.
He was Aquaman in the old school Supernatural
Smallville. Okay,
Yeah.
so I can't remember the actor's name, which is awful. I should probably wrote it down. I've always said this guy needs to be an action hero. He's a good actor. He's handsome. He's absolutely just torqued, just ripped, just shredded. And so I was so excited to see him take on this part. And holy crap, this show is so fun. There's nothing genius about it. It's just a well-written kind of, here's the story. We're going to move through the paces. You kind of even can see what's going to happen as it goes. But I enjoyed the ride so much.
Nice. I haven't watched it, so
I recommend it. Even if you're not into this kind of thing, it's a very easy watch. It's not going to make you think too hard. The concept follows just, I guess, one of the Jack Reacher books. So it's already been picked up, I think, for 2 more seasons. So each season follows one book story. And it's basically a story of him avenging his brother who got murdered in this small town. And holy crap, it's tons of fun. I highly recommend Reacher. I give it a solid 9.
That's nutty.
It is nutty. Tomorrow, I maybe probably once you guys listen to this podcast, it'll already be out. They've made themselves a new Boys spinoff. This one is animated,
The
and it's
Boys.
The Boys. It's called The Boys Presents Diabolical. It comes out March 4th, so that's probably honestly after by the time this gets posted, it's out. You could probably go watch it. But
May
what
the
did
4th? Let's go.
March 4th, March
Oh,
4th,
March 4th.
March 4th.
Did you
So let
say
me
May?
ask,
I'm
I
losing my mind.
one of us said May. It may be March 4th. No, it's definitely March 4th.
It's tomorrow.
8 episodes. I think they're half-hour episodes. It's an animated, festive, people smashing, killing, and having a good time. It looks very invincibly itself. What did you think about the trailer for The Boys?
It looks nutty, dude. Like, one scene I thought I saw like freaking Rick and Morty characters in there looking animation. Like, what
Yeah.
is happening? And a bunch of like killing, a bunch of blood. And I love me some Homelander, man. And it's
Oh
like
my God.
his origin story, dude. Love
Yeah.
it.
So I'm excited. I think it looked like I think that each episode is a standalone episode rather than a linear story. So I think they're kind of having fun with it. And I think that maybe one of the episodes is in fact made, written, and directed by the Rick and Morty guys. So that's probably why it felt that way. So each one kind of stands on its own, but I think it's going to fill in some gaps. So I do think it is canon to The Boys. So if you really like The Boys like we do, you're probably going to want to watch this just so you have that information when the real Boys comes back on.
Yeah, because it tells you like the what happened when they start using the Vox serum to people and how they got superpowers. And like,
yeah, it looks pretty good. So hopefully it is. I know there's been many a time we said this looks awesome, and then we watch it and it's absolute trash. But hopefully that's not the case in this circumstance. Over on HBO Max, we can carry on with our superhero theme. They have their own big superhero show. Peacemaker has run the course it's been on, so spoilers to come. But I don't know personally. I really liked the Peacemaker. I liked it from start to finish. It was a really fun show. What did you think about the Peacemaker?
I didn't like it.
Really?
I loved it, man. It was awesome.
Oh,
Dude. That show from start to finish was like a solid show. It like was funny. It looked like it sounded like it was like what do you do? What is that? Like kind of like when you ad lib?
oh yes. Yeah, I think ad-libbing.
Yeah, you just like and it's like we're just gonna keep rolling, keep acting, keep talking, and we're just gonna choose the best part, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I think what you're saying is like not all of it felt scripted, and they kind of just let them play out the scene.
Yeah, and like the people that James Gunn chose, they really matched together well, and you're just like it was a fun show.
What I liked about it too is it was so unique. It wasn't your typical superhero show by any means. This is where John Cena fits the best. We've talked about in the past how we like him in comedy and don't like him in drama. He's an awful dramatic actor. But this was like kind of that perfect fit. Like he really is the Peacemaker. He was able to give some emotion, and it actually worked. The side characters were amazing. Abed, what was her name? Abed, damn it. The one black lady. What was her name? She's awesome. I liked her.
Oh shoot.
I want to say it's A B something. I don't know. I really liked her. I really liked the vigilante because I thought he was pretty good.
Vigilante was the best, man, because he reminded me of Deadpool but mortal.
Yes, yeah, he's like a regular Deadpool guy. He was a badass. He's funny, but he could get hurt. Unlike Deadpool, he doesn't heal instantly.
Yeah, like he got shot. I'm falling down, but throws a knife and kills somebody.
the scene where they're going to interrogate him, they've got both spoiler alerts, they've got both vigilante and the Peacemaker tied up, and he's threatening to cut off the vigilante's toes, and Peacemaker's like, do it, I'm not going to tell, do it.
Not my toe.
Yeah, that was good. It was like, it's a fun story. The story is absolutely very silly, very James Gunny, the most James Gunniest of Gunniest. It had a good finale, I thought. It wrapped up that story. So if they never brought back the Peacemaker, we could all feel good about the story they sold us. But I think that it's already been renewed, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, and it works in the DCU too.
Oh, and I like a lot of, I saw a lot of, especially Snyder Bros on the Twitter are all they don't, it doesn't take but this much for them to get butthurt. They were all getting butthurt about them constantly making jokes about Superman and Aquaman and all this stuff. But I thought it was funny. It was because that was the
Hilarious.
Peacemaker's, personality. He's just kind of like ragging on everybody to make himself feel better, because he's kind of a very mediocre superhero to begin with. And so it makes sense that he would talk, shit about all the other, Justice League members.
Yeah, because like to him, he's a superhero, but like to others, he's not.
Yeah, to the
So
others, he's just a vigilante a-hole that runs around with a big gun.
yeah, and like Aquaman's a fish fucker.
And then at the end,
God
that,
damn,
oh
it's
man, how about that
so good.
cameo at the end? So extra spoiler alert. At the end, when they gave us, Justice League shows up. I read that a couple of them they couldn't get them to in time for the shoot, so they just hid them in the shadows.
Silhouette, baby. We know who it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yep, they hid them in the silhouettes. But yeah, the whole fish fucker joke continued on with the Flash and Aquaman, and that was just good times.
It's not a rumor.
Shut up, Barry. So that was good. I liked Peacemaker. I would give it an 8.5. I liked it.
Yeah, mine's solid 9, man.
Solid 9. That just
Yeah.
tells you how much I like that stupid Reacher show. That I like the Reacher show a little bit better than Peacemaker. So maybe I'm on the only one, but that's okay. Everybody gets to choose.
Adebayo.
Oh, you did it.
Yes.
Adebayo. Yes, I loved her character. That was such a well-developed character because she started off kind of quiet and we didn't really know why she was there or why she was doing what she was doing. And then we got to see her develop and process and learn and grow. And I thought that's something you don't get always from superhero shows.
Yeah, this is a prime example of like good writing and incorporating the LGBTQ
Yeah.
community into it without pushing it,
Yeah, it didn't feel like an agenda moment. It was just, that's
Yeah,
just who she
just
was. That
there.
was that
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Dude, did you know that Hardcore was dating James Gunn
I did hear that.
and now they're engaged? Damn, it's crazy.
It's good to be the king.
Dude, they were
Yeah.
dating for like 7 years, dude. I was like, did she
Wow.
get the part because of
Oh, for sure. But she's a
James
good
Gunn?
actress too. And I never
Yeah.
really seen her anything else. I'm sure she's been in other things, but I never
She
really.
was in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, I mean, other than this stuff that he's been doing. Um, Also on HBO Max, I watched a movie that I've been wanting to see for a long time, and I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but it is written by the John Wick writer Derek Koistad. And I thought, oh man, a John Wick type movie.
Hell
It
yeah.
looked like a John Wick type movie called Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. Have you seen this
Oh,
movie?
it's funny because I have a little group of my clan members,
Yeah.
and one of them was like, nobody was so good. I was like, what the hell
Yeah.
are you talking about? Who's nobody?
You're like, somebody's even better.
Yeah,
So you've never seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I'm with your clan member. I probably shouldn't say I'm a clan member. It doesn't work for me like it does.
Oh yeah, I have a clan.
I'm gonna have Peacemaker come punch me. Yeah, no, I really liked Nobody. It is, and you got to give the writer credit. It is exactly John Wick. It's exactly the same story. It's like he took it and this is the only writer in the history of writers who sold the same script to two different studios and made two different movies. So if you like John Wick, you're gonna like Nobody. Nobody is kind of like the more artsy, fartsy, quiet, less money version of John Wick, but it's still really good. So I also enjoyed Nobody.
It's like when they like compare, oh, this is the next John Wick, or this is gonna be like John Wick, but you're watching like this is not John Wick.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go in thinking it's going to be as good as John Wick, it's not as glamorous. It's not as shiny. It clearly doesn't have as much money thrown at it, but it's still a regular guy getting pissed off and kicking ass for an hour and 45 minutes. That's all it is.
Speaking of John Wick ish,
Yeah.
did you watch the trailer? It wasn't on your list, so maybe you
No,
haven't, or maybe you're saving it for next time. The trailer for Bullet Train.
no, I've never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, put it on your list to watch.
Okay. I'll put that on the list. We can go over it next week.
Imagine John Wick ish
On a
movie
train.
on a bullet train in Japan, starting the one and only Brad Pitt.
What? Oh my god, I
Yeah.
love me some Brad Pitt. Okay.
Yeah, dude, it looks pretty good.
All right. So I'll look up Bullet Train and we'll talk about that next time. Um, some other TV tidbits. I can give you some unrecommendations. I wrote down these 3 things that I watched for the nuts, so they never have to. That show must be its own
Wow.
category. We saved you time. Because there's only so much time in this small little world of ours.
You
I
took the
watched.
nut.
I took it. I took it for everyone. I don't know if I want to rock on say I took the nut. Okay. I watched a movie starring Spider-Man himself. And I thought to myself, I really like Spider-Man.
Hold on,
I'm
which
gonna see
Spider-Man?
Tom Holland. Tom
Oh,
Holland, he's a great
the
actor.
Spider-Man? Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out Tom Holland's never done a good movie other than Spider-Man. Every time I watch a movie with Tom Holland in it that's not named Spider-Man, it's fucking awful. And I'm not
It's
afraid to say
true.
that. It's
Like that,
true.
like that one with the Ray Skywalker. What?
Yeah, well, that's the one I'm talking about.
Wait, you
So I finally saw it. Yeah. So
so
Ray
long ago.
Skywalker and Spider-Man starred in this piece of shit movie called Chaos Walking. And
Yeah,
the plot of this movie is that all the guys, for some stupid reason, you can hear every dumb thing that they think. The problem is, as an audience, it is the most unnerving, annoying plot device that has ever existed. How did this movie get such good stars in it?
I don't know, man.
It's trash. I give it a 2. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Don't watch Chaos Walking.
I thought you were gonna talk about something like more recent that you did.
No, man. I finally get around to all these old ass movies. I'm like, I'm gonna watch some stuff. The next old movie, maybe not that old, that I saw is on Hulu. So Chaos Walking, by the way, was on, I don't even know,
I watched it on
HBO.
Hulu.
Okay, Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
So I must have been having some fun on Hulu. Hulu, by the way, has a really good movie library that I think a lot of people forget about because they always push their TV shows. I watched the Nicolas Cage movie Pig on Hulu.
Oh,
And the reason I was interested in it is because it takes place in beautiful Oregon. And so I'm like, I'm going to watch this. I wanted to quit after about 5 minutes. I
wow.
stuck in for another 20 minutes. I thought I really should turn this off. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to finish it. And so
Committed. I
I
love
was
it.
committed. It is awful. It is the most boring movie ever made. And all these people out there, they're trying to convince you that it's some artsy thing and that it should win awards. These people are boring and they've never seen a good movie and they're just trying to trick you because they didn't understand why this was ever made either.
Yeah. Because when I saw the trailer, I thought it's gonna be John Wick, but with
Yeah.
Pig.
Yes. It is not John Wick with a pig. It is an extremely boring movie, and I do not recommend it, even though it takes place in Portland.
You know, it's funny. Like I consider myself an artist. I got an
Yes.
art degree, art
Yes.
art history minor.
Yep.
I freaking hate metaphors, man. Like when in movies, they're like this means this means that. Just freaking show me, dude. Like who cares?
I'm okay with a good
God
metaphor,
damn.
but this movie, man, its pacing was unbearable. And so sometimes I feel like a lot of people feel like slow paced movies just means it's taking its time to give us the story. And I was just like, I gotta find something else to do while this thing is on. It's awful.
Yeah.
So I give it a 1. Don't watch Pig. My last thing you should not absolutely watch under any circumstance is we had talked about it as one of our tasty trailers. I had loved the original show. This is a spinoff of an OG show that is dear to my heart. How I Met Your Father is awful, terrible, disgustingly stupid.
Wow.
Don't waste your time.
Starring Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie McGuire can't act,
Wait, hold on.
or whatever she is.
Is that
No,
Lizzie?
was it Lizzie McGuire? It's one of these Nickelodeon actresses.
Hillary
that
Duff.
Yeah, Hillary Duff. By the
Oh yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah.
Hillary
Not
Duff
Hannah
can't
Montana.
be.
Yeah.
She can't be more than what 32, maybe. She looks like she's had so much plastic surgery. She looks
Really?
like a freaking housewife. It's awful.
I thought
But
she looked fine like a few years ago.
yeah, something happened. Something happened. She got hit with the ugly stick. And so How I Met Your Father is exactly the same concept as How I Met Your Mother, but poorly acted, poorly written, with god awful jokes that will make you cringe. Don't waste your time. I think that should be the new category. I think we've just started a new segment called Don't Waste Your Time. Don't waste your time on this show. It's awful. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back from the break, we're going to do some tasty trailers and some news jacuzzi stories. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Need affordable graphic design? VisualAntiDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualAntiDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. All right, we're back. I'm trying to remember which trailers I even told you to watch because I have a whole bunch here and I only picked some of them because, oh man, we're going to run tight because we haven't been on here in a while. So, okay, let's start with Home Team. This movie looks bad, but I wanted to see your thoughts. Home Team is the story of the New Orleans Saints head coach and what he did during his offseason when he was suspended by the NFL for cheating, mind you, or no, for hiring basically a hit. He basically paid this happened in real life. He paid his players to hurt people. And when they found out, they said, nope, fool, you're off. Sean Payton is his name, Coach Sean Payton. And they're like, we don't want to see you anymore. And some weird person said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make him a feel-good movie out of this, starring Kevin James, the King of Queens himself, stars as Sean Payton. And dear Lord, it looks so bizarre.
And Jacob from Twilight. What the hell is his name? Real name?
Oh, that's right. I know. Yeah, the werewolf kid. I can't remember his real name. If you're Team Jacob, maybe you'll still watch it.
Yeah.
I used to really like Kevin James, but I feel like the last few things that I've given him a shot on, I said, oh, I'm going to watch this thing by Kevin James. It's just been bad. The guy must not care at all about his career, and he takes anything for money because it looks terrible. We don't have to recommend it, but if you're interested, it comes out. Well, it's out. I guess it's out right now. It's on Netflix. You can watch it right now. That's how long it's been since I wrote this down.
Well, the issue I had with that trailer when I watched it was like it made it feel like it was a feel good story. You know?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think it's supposed to be.
Is this supposed to be a feel good story? I mean, this guy was targeting players. You know, like he's trying to hurt people, like for reals.
I think if I can tell from the trailer, they gloss all over the entire thing. And it's like, what happens if an NFL coach decides to coach a really bad peewee? It's like the Bad News Bears. Yeah. He coaches bad peewee football, you know, and then that's the whole story. That's it.
And did you know why he got suspended?
skip over that part. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Freaking thing. My next trailer comes from a television show that I love quite a bit. And I can't decide, honestly, if I'm excited or not. What did you think about the Bob's Burger trailer?
It's if to me it felt like another episode, but in like a bigger venue.
I feel like this is for Bob's Burger super fans. And I would consider myself a fan. I don't know if I'd consider myself a super fan to pay, $8 or $12 a pop to go see it in a movie theater.
No, man, 13, dude. $13.95.
We got to go in the hillbilly town that I live in. You get it for $8. But yeah, it's not cheap. Even when I bring my family, because you got to get popcorn, you got to get the big bladder buster drinks. I'm in it for $60 once you add everybody up. But Bob's Burgers is a show I enjoy. I'll probably enjoy this movie when it shows up on Fox. So I guess it'll end up on Disney Plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
If like the theater said, come watch Bob's Burger and we're going to bring you a burger, then maybe I'll go for $13.
If it was I'm with you. If it was a Bob's Burger themed like experience, and they were like serving burgers, burger of the day, I'd be down for that. I'd be sold on that for sure.
Missed opportunity, man. Should hire us, marketing.
Yeah, and we're good at marketing. That's for sure. What about the trailer for Winning Time, A Rise of the Lakers? What did you think about that?
I thought it was it looks okay. I was never a Lakers fan, so I don't really care about that time,
right?
Or the Lakers, but I can see why like it was a big thing for that time and for those fans.
I'm actually very excited for this show, and I'll tell you why. And it has nothing to do with the Lakers, because I agree with you. Lakers can suck my hairy balls. They are not my team. I'm a Blazer, and they've made me so sad. The Lakers have so many times. But I remember, I'm old enough to remember the Showtime years. As a little kid, when Magic Johnson was doing his thing, Kareem was playing, it was pretty cool. And so, but what makes me excited about this is it stars one of my favorite comedian actors, John C. Reilly, and it's written and directed by Adam McKay. He's the better half of the Will Ferrell producing thing. Even though, here's a fun fact. Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, who've made pretty much every funny Will Ferrell movie you've ever seen. They also created Funny or Die. They've done a lot of stuff. They had their own production company called, I think, Gary Sanchez or something silly like that. It's the one with the whip on it. You know, you always see at the end or beginning of the movie. They broke up over this movie. They're not
Damn.
friends. They don't talk. Will Ferrell hates Adam McKay now. And you're like, what the heck? I guess the story from what Adam McKay said on another podcast I was listening to is that he offered, because John C. Reilly from Step Brothers, they did a lot of movies, Shake and Bake, Talladega Nights. They did a lot of movies together. Will Ferrell was absolutely butthurt when Adam McKay asked John C. Reilly to be in this show and not Will Ferrell. He didn't even ask him
I mean, to be the bus
to be in the show
or
at
just
all.
in the show.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so he was upset that he didn't get cast in the show in any part. And so this show broke up that kind of dynamic duo, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But to me, this looks like a good show. Adam McKay he's grown as a writer and a producer from making this kind of really broad, slapsticky, kind of funny comedy to like more satire, smarter. He's done stuff like Succession. He did Don't Look Up. He's done a lot of these more smarter movies lately. And so A Big Short. I'm excited for this show. I'm actually think I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit because A, I like sports, and B, I like the star and I like the writer director.
Yeah, I was interesting. It was interesting to see like who he cast for which player. Like Larry Bird's in there.
You know who he originally
Irving in
cast
there?
for Larry Bird?
Who was it?
Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham was cast and accepted the part and then
What
got
happened?
busy with another project and couldn't do it.
Oh,
I would have paid money just to see Bo Burnham play Larry Bird.
man, too bad.
Yeah, we missed the window on that. So, Winning Time, Rise of the Lakers Dynasty debuts on HBO this week, March 6th.
They didn't need it to like get a better title, man. Title's freaking long.
It is a long title. One trailer I forgot to send you because I had so many trailers I'm doubled up. Have you seen the trailer by any chance of the Adam Project?
Yes, I have.
Oh, good. So this will work. Honestly, of all these that we're talking about, it sucks that I forgot to send it to you. This is the one I'm most excited for, mostly because I have a deep, deep bromance for Ryan Reynolds. But Ryan Reynolds stars in a new movie coming out on Netflix exclusive called The Adam Project, where he comes back in time to meet his little kid self so they can stop the end of the world from like their dad or something weird's going on. What did you think about the Adam Project trailer?
With a lightsaber. Yeah.
Yes, I did say he has a lightsaber. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I hate time travel.
Yes, I know that's a known fact.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm for the sheer star power of Ryan Reynolds and Gamora. What is her name?
Oh, yes, Gamora. What is her real name? I don't know.
Yeah. For those two, I will watch it. It looks interesting.
And everybody and their mother either pays for Netflix or steals it from a friend. So you have it already. So it debuts on Netflix this week, March 11th. So we're coming up. There's, that's the beauty. We're in the golden age. We've said this many a time of streaming and media. There's just so much to choose from. So when you watch stupid stuff, you can just bail.
Yeah. And like, why you think Netflix subscription is like going up?
Yep.
It's
to pay for Ryan Reynolds.
Pay for Ryan Reynolds, man. God damn.
That's right. And Ryan Reynolds don't come cheap.
Yeah.
That's
and
wild.
I'll happily pay that $1 extra or $2, or I don't know how much it is now.
I think it was $2. Yeah, they're not afraid to raise their prices. That's for sure. One other thing I just want to make like a movie tidbit. I went and saw over the time we were not broadcasting. I went with my family, like a good family man, and saw Jackass Forever. So I wanted to give like a 30-second review of Jackass Forever. If you like the original Jackass movies, you will like Jackass Forever. However, duly note, if you're going to take your 16-year-old son like I did and his best church friend, let it be known that there is a more than average amount of dick and balls. So many. I mean, the Franks and Beans ratio in this movie was off the chart. So if you are easily unnerved, embarrassed, or off put by a little man janglies, they are everywhere in this movie.
So this movie makes up for all the years of female nudity.
Oh, yes. This and Euphoria. I tell you what, we didn't talk about Euphoria. By the way, I love Euphoria, but it seems to be the trend of 2022 is male genitalia because that show sets a record for giving you a wiener every 30 seconds. I felt like Jackass said, you know what? We've got Steve-O, whip it out every chance you get.
Oh,
And they
my
did.
beer.
Yeah. So it's a good show. It's fun. I don't think it holds up as good as the originals. They're all older. You're honestly kind of worried about them getting hurt. They're trying to introduce new jackasses so they can continue the series on without the OGs. But yeah, it is what it is. If you like watching people get injured, it's kind of funny.
So is the next movie gonna be called a Jackass Mentor or something?
Yeah, it'd be
Mentee.
Jackass begins again, So my whatevs. Moving on, I think it's time for the news jacuzzi. Okay, so I have a handful of stories. Let's see. Get this open. Oh, it's already open to the right page. So my first story is Texas woman allegedly tries to buy baby at a Walmart. Let me ask you, is that the right place to buy a baby?
No, usually in Florida.
I know you're just like, that makes sense at a Walmart, but not in Texas.
Yeah.
A Texas woman was arrested after a bizarre encounter inside a Walmart store where she is accused of offering $500,000 to buy a woman's baby, according to the report. Now, I guess the first question here is, I guess that's better than her just snatching your baby and running away with it. She like at least offered some money.
$500,000, man.
$500,000. I mean, the baby's brand new. You can get a new one. I mean, come on. So Rebecca Taylor, age 49, and she looks like someone that would try to buy a baby in a Walmart. The real question is, where does someone that looks like that get $500,000? You think she was BSing the $500,000? She didn't actually have it.
I think so.
Yeah, she's probably BSing. So Rebecca Taylor, age 49, was charged with the sale or purchase of of a child and was released from the Houston County Sheriff's Office on a $50,000 bond. The alleged incident occurred in a store in Crockett, Texas, which is near Houston. The two women were reportedly in the self-checkout line last week. The mother, who was with her baby and 1-year-old, told the police that Rebecca commented on her son's blonde hair and blue eyes and asked how much he costs. The report cited the affidavit that the mother laughed off the comment, but the woman allegedly said she had $250,000 in her car and would pay her that money right now.
In her car?
In her car.
Boy. Hell no.
The mom claimed another woman was with Taylor at the point. The mother said she alerted authorities. However, when the mom got to the parking lot, Taylor pressed the issue further, and she yelled at the mom that if $250,000 wasn't enough, I'll give you $500,000, because she really wanted him and she was gonna take him.
Damn.
Taylor was allegedly standing behind the woman's black SUV that was parked next to the mom's. And even after the mom locked her kids in the car, Taylor kept asking. Taylor eventually jumped into the SUV and the car rode off, according to the affidavit. So they managed to escape in what sounds like a very small car chase and get away. But this lady's been arrested, and turns out you cannot buy a baby at the Walmart.
She's like, blonde and blue eyes. I need that gene.
Yeah, sounds a little racist. I don't know. Yeah. Sounds a little racist. We can't prove that. I mean, this lady's already horrible, but if it smells like a turd, it might be a turd. All right. My second story. This is pretty amazing.
Walks like a duck.
This is really quite cool. I'm actually on the Science Daily, so this isn't a funny newspaper. Science Daily has reported that a robot has performed laparoscopic surgery without any human help, all by itself. I mean, this is so exciting. So that means that this robot was able to perform the surgery successfully on its own, pre-programmed AI type stuff. I mean, that's some next level stuff. If we can, it's kind of like the ATM spits up the money. You don't need a bank teller. The The Walmart has self-checkout. You don't need a cashier. And now if you need like your kidney replaced, you don't need a surgeon. The robot has performed laparoscopic surgery on a soft tissue of a pig. So at least they're trying it on pigs before a human, without the guiding hand of a human. A significant step in robotics towards fully automated surgery on humans. Designed by a team at Johns Hopkins University researchers, the smart tissue autonomous robot STAR. What a great, I love it. A good, acronym like that. Smart tissue autonomous robot STAR. Is described
Star. Oh
STAR.
my god, dude!
Yeah. So
It's like
STAR.
the start or like Star Labs. Here we go. It's happening.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, apparently, Star performed the procedure in 4 animals, and it produced significantly better results than all the humans that tried the same procedure. So, not only could it perform the surgery, it performed it better than human hands. So, yeah, absolutely, the robots will one day take over and we'll all die. But in the meantime, in the near future, it might be a good thing.
Yeah, like all the cashiers are afraid robots taking their jobs. Now it's the doctors.
They took her jibs. Moving over to a local story. This is kind of cool. I actually came across this on my local Twitter because people may not know this, but I have a Twitter account for everything I think about. I don't like to mix and match. So I have kind of a local to the town I live, to the state I live in type Twitter. And I came across this. I thought it was a typo. And it said, new sports bra opens in Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
I
I
thought,
heard about that. Yeah,
I'm like, sports bra? They mean sports bar. What a typo. What a bunch of idiots.
they
No,
switched the letter.
they're not idiots. Not at all. Of course, in the most Portland thing ever, uh, there's someone opening a sports bar called the Sports Bra, and they're going to show nothing but female sports. I think this sounds cool. I'm all for it. And what do you think about the sports bra?
And I heard that too, and I'm like, is there enough women's sports happening throughout the day for them to show?
Well, I would imagine. Well, to be fair, I've been in plenty of sports bars during a weekday, like if we're on like a trip or something for work, that are playing reruns. So I'd imagine
Oh,
they can play reruns just like anybody else. But there's, I mean, anymore there are a lot of good, or I don't know, there are a lot of female sports, right? You got basketball, soccer, golf, tennis. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I don't think that would be the issue. The owner or the person creating it, her name is Ginny Wynn, and she says she was, I think she said she was a soccer player, and so her and her friends used to always watch a lot of sports, together. They'd get together, they'd watch a lot of sports, and they loved, as female athletes, watching female sports, which makes total sense. But there was no place to really go out and see that kind of stuff.
without
So
getting hit on. Yeah.
yeah, and so they've created this place. It's their motto is that they support women. The goal is to play women's sports on TV and represent women in the food and beverage industry. So the sports bra, I'm not sure, does it say when it opens if you're in the Portland area? And by the way, it does say that it's open for everybody. You don't have to be a lady just to go to the sports bra. You just have to enjoy women's sports.
I'm just afraid that women's sport full of women, single guy, be like, oh yeah, I got better odds,
I don't want to pigeonhole it, but I bet you those women aren't looking for him.
Yeah. But there's giving those guys that go in like trying to, yeah.
Honestly, because it's local, I'd be down to go to see what it was like. It doesn't. I can't seem to see where it says.
I think
It's either.
my red flag with that story was that she said she ran out of money. And so
Oh,
she had to go to like Kickstarter to like raise more fund to actually open it or something like that.
that's correct. She raised $65,000 on Kickstarter, which is impressive in
Yeah.
itself. So I think that's cool. But I'm rooting for. It says April. They're targeting a grand opening in April, so we're only about a month away. And so if I ever go to the sports bra, I will let everybody know what it was like. But I think it's good. Good on them. I hope it lasts. It's hard right now for any business to survive.
Yeah.
Hopefully something like this that's so niche is able to find success.
At least no mask, indoor mask. Let's go.
Yeah, by the time they open, we're done with the masks. So that's good. My final story is my absolute favorite story. I saved the best for last.
Wait, hold on. To go with your sports bra
Okay.
story. Did
Yes.
you hear about the other bar that's opening in Portland?
No.
The non-alcoholic bar.
Oh, I did hear that. The wifey and I were talking about that, how they're opening a non-alcoholic bar. That's also the most
Yeah.
Portlandy thing ever to do.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, I suppose people still want to go out and have a good time and not feel that pressure, be able to
Yeah.
drive home safely. Honestly, I mean, kind of a non-alcoholic bar is just a restaurant, but that's okay. I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, why
Welcome
not?
to Portland, guys and gals.
Welcome to Portland. We have non-alcoholic bars. We have all female sports bras. We have vegan places. We have you name it. If it's a little bit different, we have it here.
Yeah.
All right. So my favorite story, the best story of the news jacuzzi by far. Former Louisiana teacher admits to feeding students. You want to guess what she fed the students? I bet you. I'll give you three guesses. I bet you can't guess. I'll give you a little context. She was sick of her kids, her students. She was fed up with her students. So she decided to teach them a lesson by giving them a treat that was not what they thought it was.
Snake.
No, that would have been kind of gross, but not as bad as this.
Her
That's one
barf.
guess. Oh, barf is gross. And you're more on the right, angle. That's also not it.
Her poop.
Oh, poop is really gross, but this might even be grosser.
What?
I like how I had to keep saying former Louisiana teacher. Once I tell you what this Louisiana teacher did, you'll understand why she's former.
Oh,
Uh,
alligator. Let's get.
Former Louisiana teacher admits to feeding students cupcakes.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Sperm laced cupcakes.
Just kidding.
a former a former Louisiana middle school. Oh, it wasn't even high school
Oh,
kids. This is so upsetting. I mean, it's hilarious, but also upsetting. A former Louisiana middle school teacher has been sentenced to 40 years. Good God, I love that.
40 years. Oh my
40
god.
years behind bars after admitting she fed students cupcakes laced with the sperm of her ex-husband. Cynthia Perkins, 36, was sentenced to 40 years of hard labor without the possibility of probation or parole. She accepted a plea bargain on Monday to charges that include second-degree rape. Can you believe that? They caught producing child pornography and conspiracy mingling of harmful substances. So they nailed her on everything. So if you ever decide to try to feed someone else's sperm without them knowing, they're going to get you on a lot of stuff, especially when they're a bunch of minors. Oh, man.
This is a terrible story.
So it says the deal requires her cooperation against ex-husband Dennis Perkins, a former SWAT team commander, scheduled to stand trial later this year. Cynthia Perkins admitted to assisting her husband in sexually assaulting a juvenile. Oh no, she did worse things than just helping her husband film a juvenile bathing and lacing cupcakes with her then husband's sperm before feeding it to her school children. This is the story is funny to read how awful it is. Like if it was your kid, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened.
It like gets worse and worse as you read.
Yeah. So she's actually, she's like one of these hillbilly cutes. Like she's kind of cute, but she's totally hillbilly looking with a 12-inch forehead, 12-finger forehead. But God, I can't even imagine. So originally I thought that she had done this because she was pissed off completely, but it sounds almost like her and her husband were just into weird, kinky stuff. And this is like something else that they like did as part of one of their kinks.
Feed kids his sperm. Wow. Wait, you said ex, so they got divorced afterwards, or
Just says ex-husband. So, but apparently they are still hanging out doing awful things to people.
it's
Isn't that
terrible.
wild? Have you heard of a story like that? So
Damn.
I see.
What? Who hurt you, bro?
It's just, yeah, you wonder. I'm curious now. if any of the kids got sick, like if they had to, how much of it they ate, if they had to like test them for like AIDS and hepatitis and all this other crap you can catch.
Yeah, that's terrible. I don't
Yeah.
want to know, man.
Yeah.
We'll
What a
leave it at
story.
that.
What a story. So
Whew.
don't feed people cum soaked cupcakes, and especially don't feed children that, because that's awful. You're an awful person. So that's it. That's all I had. Quite the ending to this amazingly jam-packed episode. I'm excited to kind of tease some future stuff. Ren and I are continuing on our trek of 2022 of having more guests, because I
Yeah.
know as entertaining as Ren and I are, it's always nice to have some new voices on here. So we've got some exciting guests coming on that I think you're all going to really enjoy, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What a tease.
Yes. So do you have any other things you would like to mention before we wrap it, post
Um,
it?
I'm going to watch Batman tomorrow.
Oh, I'm
So
going to see it this weekend too.
yeah, hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, I've heard what's kind of interesting is it's gotten really good reviews. In fact, I wonder if I can check. Let's see. What is Batman on Rotten Tomatoes right now? Just real quick here.
Last time I was
Last
like
time I saw it,
86 or something like that.
okay, so it's been slowly going down. So Batman Rotten. Not that you should take any of this too serious, but the Batman currently has a Rotten Tomatoes, so it's slowly going down, of 84% with the critics, but it has a 94% with the audience. So audiences have been seeing it. It has pretty much very positive reviews. I'm really genuinely looking forward to seeing this new take on Batman, this dark take.
Yeah. You know how you know when you're old?
How's that?
When you try to find an early showing.
Is it a long movie? How long is this
Like
movie? Is it
3 hours, dude.
what the hell? When did we decide? Yeah, 2 hours and 56 minutes. When did we decide every movie has to be 3 hours? Who?
It's because of freaking Zack Snyder, man. Like, you get it too short. No, we need the Zack Snyder cut. We need the Matt Reeves cut, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm too.
I'm excited to see it. We'll be happy to give our full length review of the Batman. It looks pretty darn good. The dark take on the Dark Knight, and should be good.
I'm vengeance.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Cool. All right, man. Well, we will see everybody on the flip side, and we're out. Bye.